Hi guys, part two. So this one's going to be a little bit of a couple things. So we got communication, setting expectations, and problem solving. Okay, 3 in 1. And why am I choosing those three together? I need to write these down because I got to make thumbnails. Okay. So, let's talk for a minute. So, we already talked about trust, right? We already talked about that big thing. And trust is huge. And it's built on basis of communication and talking and setting expectations and in the long run, problem solving. And, that's why we're talking about this all together. Because without communication, you really can never gain anything. You can't gain trust. You can't gain expectations. You can't gain conversation on getting to know each other or any of that. You don't know if you can do any problem solving. You don't know how well you'll work. You don't know what each other needs. There's just so much in communication. So a few things that I've taken from this is communication. Okay. It helps strengthen respect. I agree. It takes the guesswork out because nobody's a mind reader. Nobody at all. It helps avoid misunderstandings, which is kind of in line with problem solving. If you understand what each other is saying by communication, then guess what? You're not going to have as many problems to solve. Okay? It also builds trust. It grows from communication. Trust grows. Sorry. Trust builds because we communicate our thoughts, feelings, and desires, and needs, and wants, and everything. And we build in trust because we can communicate what we want in life, right? It lets partners support each other, or friends, or boss, or peers, or cousins, or whoever, whatever relationship it is. It allows you guys to support each other. If I say, hey, I'm having a bad day, I can almost guarantee if I'm able to share that, then my buddy from work is able to say, man, Diane, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Anything I can do to help you? In intimate relationships, it helps grow that intimacy. It helps provide love. It helps grow the love and the need and the desire and the passion because you communicate what you want out of life from each other, for yourself, anything like that. Also, if you can talk about what you're wanting or needing or feeling, thinking, any of that, it helps you would improve your moods. If you have to suppress what you're wanting to say, you're probably not going to feel so great, right? No. So the basic framework in communication and relationships is that it builds. Y'all, it's a big builder. It's down here. So essentially, probably should have talked about communication first, but I didn't. Talked about trust. But so you go communication and then trust is built. Then relationships are going to be gained. And then your hierarchies will go from there, right? So let's talk about communication. Communication is hard sometimes. Okay? Hey, William, will you give me a bottle of water? Sure. Very easy to communicate. Hey, William, what you said really hurt my feelings. And I want to talk about that. That can be hard because you're admitting that you feel disappointed, upset, or hurt, or angry, whatever you're feeling. And you don't want that to affect them negatively, right? But if you're in that problem-solving mode, that's what you need to do. You need to have healthy communication. You need to be able to say, hey, William, what you said hurt my feelings. Can we talk about that? We need to be able to say, hey, I expect for you to be present in our relationship, or to listen to me, or I expect for you to fold the laundry, or I expect for you to pick up the phone when I call you because you're my bestie. I expect for you to be there when you say you're going to be there because you're my bestie. Like, jobs, I expect you to show up for work. They communicate what they want. They set the proper expectations. And lo and behold, when you have those expectations and you get them like on the board, like these are your expectations, you need XYZ. And when XYZ is met, dang, what a healthy relationship that is. There's no guesswork. None. I mean, my daughter will go from 0 to pissed in 2 seconds. And when she does, she says nothing. She shuts down, right? So then I'm like, oh, what part of that conversation did she not like? The part that I asked her to clean her room? Or the part that I said you shouldn't do that? Like, what is it? And then so you're like, hey, daughter, what made you mad? You should know. You're the one that said it. Well, said what? I said a lot in that sentence, so... No, I don't know, because you didn't tell me and you didn't communicate back. You closed the door on that, and in reality, all it was is her expectation of me was not to say XYZ because it hurt her feelings, okay? My expectation of her was, I need you to listen, and if you would listen the first time, I wouldn't have to do it the second or third time, right? So little things, but you see how that is in a parental role. Then you have, like I said, your best friends. Hey, I'll just use Micah. Hey, Micah, I expect for you to understand that I am busy and I'm working, and I know it's not fair to you, but right now I just can't be 100% with you, like 100%, because like my schedule's busy. But if you need me, please reach out. Send me a text. Give me a call. Whatever you may need. That's my setting her expectation. Right? Like, I'm telling her what I expect. And in the forefront, she's like, okay. But I kind of expect that if I come to town, you're going to, like, take a few minutes to go eat dinner with me. Easy expectations, right? But with those expectations, we know what each other want or need out of our relationship. So guess what that does? It fosters great relationships. Communication is golden. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've said, if you can't communicate with me, there is really nothing more that can happen. I cannot do that, because communication is key. Like, it is the key to almost every relationship. I say almost every. I mean, you have a relationship with your dog, and sometimes if they don't care, but I just honestly though, like if you can't have that communication, and you can't set expectations, and you can't tell each other how you feel, how is a relationship ever supposed to thrive? Like how is that relationship ever supposed to just flourish and do really, really well? I don't get it, because like you're not able to water the flower because you can't communicate, okay? So when you can't communicate and you're not able to water the flower, it's just going to die, right? Same thing. Same concept. And I'm telling you, nothing irritates me more than me just pouring my heart out and then being like, okay. But guess who's been guilty of that herself? Me. I do it. I've done it. I've not been the best at communicating at all times. I haven't been the best at being able to say, hey, this is what I need, and this is what I want, and this is what I think, and this is what I feel, because I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So it was easier to not hurt feelings than it was to share my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions, my whatever. Communication was not important, as important as keeping a calm ground. Like, I didn't want to argue, I didn't want to fight, I didn't want to nothing. But at the end of the day, You know what happened? I was angry. I was so flippin' angry, right? Because nobody listened. Well, no, Diane, they would have listened had you opened your mouth. Probably would have had more chances of them listening. Probably. So they always say a closed mouth never gets fed. A closed mouth never gets fed. You know why? Because you're not opening it to eat. You're not saying that you're hungry. You're not expressing your need or desire. And that is so important in life, like to be able to communicate those feelings. Let's go simple. Hey, William, I would like to go to the grocery store. And then he would respond with, okay, let's go, right? Or I don't want to go right now, whichever, okay? But if I would have never told him that I wanted to go to the grocery store, and I went to bed that night, right? And then the next day, I'm like, oh, I should tell him. No, I don't want to tell him. I should tell. No. I end up putting a battle, that little wedge in between us, because I'm not feeling that I can trust him enough with my feelings. I can't communicate what I need to say. So then I put a big wall up, and then what happens is I get angry, frustrated, sad, mad, confused, whatever, and I explode. Dang it, I went to the grocery store yesterday, and then you go off, and then what happens? They're sitting there like, what the holy hell just happened? Why didn't you just tell me? Well, because I didn't want you to get mad. Well, why would I get mad at you for wanting to go to the grocery store? Like, really? It's the grocery store. Well, you were doing this, okay, but you didn't even ask. Like, you don't give them a chance. You don't give them a chance. You cut them off when you say nothing. You give them 0 chances when you say nothing at all. Okay? 0. And if you cannot communicate, you cannot problem solve efficiently. Hey, we're going to be short $22 for the bills. Okay. Well, then what I can do is this, this, and this, and that will help this, this, and that. Right? Pretty simple, so it sounds. But if you don't know that you need $22 because they didn't tell you that you need $22 and you spent the $22 on, I don't know, a new set of earrings or whatever you want to spend it on, then you create fights because guess what? Well, how did you spend that $22? That would have been for bills. Well, I didn't know we needed it for bills. Well, you should just know. Well, no, how would I just know? You do the bills. You didn't tell me, so how would I just know? Oh, so I didn't tell you that? You know, like, oh. And then it's just not positive. There's nothing gained from that. Nothing gained for them, you expecting them to read your mind. Nothing at all. They can't read your mind. If you're doing the bills, damn it, you're doing the bills. They're not doing the bills. You're doing the bills. And you've probably been doing the bills for, I don't know, 3 years. Yeah, I've been doing bills for about 3 years. But, I mean, we don't run into that because I'm very open with William. I'm like, so this is our bills. And actually, you know, what I've noticed is the last 6 months is that he's actually got more involved and engaged, and he knows. It only took him 2.5 years. That's all. But we're there. So that's, you know, skimming the little basic conversations. What do we do when, you know, in the last video I told you guys that I had looked through his phone, right? And so I looked through his phone and we're having that whole situation, and I still don't know how the fuck he knows what I did. No idea how he knows. Don't care, because it is what it is and it's over and I did it and bad for me. But what should have happened is that I should have said, hey, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z, and I feel like maybe you're talking to somebody else. And he could have said, why do you feel that way? And I would be like, this, and that. You know, and he would have said, well, I'm sorry, your ex did that to you. That's not me. And here's my phone. You can go through it all you want. That's how it could have effectively went. because he's never hit his phone for me, ever. Ever. Okay? But instead what happened was I went through his phone. He asked me, did you do that? No, I didn't do that, so I lied. And then I got defensive because how dare you? And then I blew up because then I'm guilty and I'm just pissed off, and now he's trying to be mad at me when no. So communication is shut off. And it's very negative. And the one thing about William is he does not argue and fight. He just walks away. He's done. That was our first breakup. See you, bye. What? Oh, what? Excuse me? Well, there was 2 reasons that the man had reason to do that, okay? First of all, I broke his trust. Well, first of all, I didn't communicate my feelings. Second of all, I did something I shouldn't have done. And third, I acted like he was the problem when he said something to me. That's messed up, Diane, you say. You're right. You guys are all right for having that thought process right now. But at the end of the day, I did what I did because I'd been like that person in that relationship that had to do that. I was told by my ex-husband on that last 9 months of our marriage, look through my phone, look through this, do this, do this, do this. Just don't tell me. Don't tell me. And I hadn't worked through that. I had not worked through that. And so trusting was very hard when it came to cheating in a relationship. Like, I trusted William to feed me and take care of me and this and that. And I felt safe with him and I felt secure. But that little trigger in the back of my mind, But thankfully today I'm sitting in our house and I'm able to tell you about it. But it was hard, y'all. It was hard. I couldn't communicate my feelings because I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want him to feel judged. I didn't want him to feel like he had done something wrong. And it was easier just to sneak it than it was just to ask him. Because if I asked him, all this goes through your mind. Like, if I ask him, then he's going to get mad. He's not going to, he's going to wonder why I'm doubting him. And then this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Because we didn't have any problem solving skills that new in our relationship. We had 0. We couldn't solve a problem to save our life unless it was, in the bedroom. We could solve any problem in there. But when it came down to the hardcore, we didn't have any of that built up in our relationship. None of it. None of it. So, you live and you learn, but that was a hard learn. And it probably built, for me, it built more trust in him, I think. And I know that sounds crazy, but he kind of checked me in my place. He didn't get mad. He's just like, hey, look, I'm not him, and I didn't do that. And if you want to live like that, then you need to move around, and it's not going to be moving around with me. See you, bye. Oh, this guy is serious. Like, he's not taking my shit, and I need to work on me. And I did, and it made me a better person overall. It made me probably a better therapist and a better parent and a better daughter and a better sister. Like, this asshole checked me. How dare you? But thank you. So from that point forward, when we got back together, communication, something that I continually worked on very hard. And I would tell him, when we were, because like I said, that's just not the only issue. I am just throwing myself under the bus because it's my story that I'm telling. He's not here to tell his. So, other instances happen and communication had kind of fallen again. And here we are, 3 years later. And I'll be damned if I can't go to that guy with anything. Like, I can be like, I can tell him anything. Like, I can come home and I can cry. Like, I get big, ugly cries sometimes because of work, and I can't share stories, but I can just tell him I felt so useless or helpless or, Like I felt for them, or I felt their pain, and he just lets me be exactly who I am. And then if I'm like, I just miss you and I need you to come home, and he knows how to, match that, like I can't be there, but let me see your face. Turn on the video. Like, he can tell me now. Man, I feel like we're just not talking like we used to, and I miss you and I miss that, or I just don't want to be doing this anymore. I want to come home, or just anything. Like, we've had something recently just going on, and the poor guy just gives his heart and soul and opens his eyes, or his mind and his heart, and and he has had a hard himself, and he just never stops. He just never stops to realize how much good he's doing for me, for people, my family. Very compassionate, and he's taught me so much about communication, because with everything that I've went to him with, he's never ran. He's just asked questions if he doesn't understand. Like, when I've said we get in disputes or whatever, he challenges me, and he lets me communicate with him and share with him things, and then he shares with me, and it's just a very respectful relationship, And I think part of that is because you have to really value a person to want to communicate to them in every level, It's like my mom. It was hard to tell her, things that had happened that she did not remember in parts of my life, because I didn't want to tell her, because I didn't want her to feel bad, and I didn't want her to feel bad because she's my mom. And you just never want that. You never want them to feel pain or hurt from your conversation. And so I never wanted to have hard conversations with her. And today I can tell you that she might get mad, just like I might get mad. But we're only mad for a minute, like we're mad and process it, and then we go on, because that's who we are. And it's a joyous occasion to be able to do that. But all of that is only possible because we're communicating what we want, we need, we feel, we think, whatever. And so if you don't have that communication, you can't do problem solving. You cannot set expectations. You cannot be true and genuine. You can't build trust. You can't have a relationship that's healthy and thriving, because once you have all of these, once you have communications, and you're able to put your heads together and solve things together, and you're able to communicate in ways that is very healthy, you find that you become happy and healthy, and you desire to be this more in life. So guys, what I can say with that is, always know that your thoughts and feelings and your needs, your desires, your expectations of others, all of that is important. And you should never feel bad for what you have to communicate. And if they get offended or mad or angry about that, let them be on them. As long as you were doing it respectfully, let that be on them. Okay? Because if you can't communicate with whoever, friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, wife, husband, whatever, mom, daughter, anything, your kids, your anything, if you cannot communicate, your relationship is going to be so strained. And when I say strained, you're going to be exhausted, and it's going to be hard. And it's just unbearable almost. So, guys, I promise I'm not going to get emotional in every video. Kidding, I probably will. But I am through with that. I just want to leave you that with heavy, Without communication, you cannot tell others what you need in life or what you want in life. Without communication, I couldn't come on here and do this. So, thank you for communication. And if there's any tips or anything that you guys can give for others, put it down below. Tell me your thoughts and feelings on it. But for now, I'm going to close this one and we're going to move on to the next. So hit like. No, wait. Hit subscribe, like, share this. You know, hit the bell for notifications because we'll have another video coming out. And for now, I just want to say thank you. And if you made it this far, come back. There's going to be more. Bye, guys. When